What's up, you guys? Tech Chucker here, and as you can see, got a slightly different review station today. I'm actually up visiting my mom right now, and I thought, hey, let's give this a shot. So, you're gonna hear some birds, you might hear me slapping some mosquitoes off of me, and there's been a bird that has been kind of attacking me. So, maybe you'll see that. That would be pretty sweet if that happens. But today, we are going to be looking at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Lizard Wave Spider-Woman. So take a look at the box. It's gonna come and go really quick. And then we're just gonna go ahead and crack this thing open and take a closer look. Okay, let's take a look at her articulation first. Her head is on a ball hinge and she can look up about this far, which isn't very good. And she can get her head or her chin all the way down into her chest, which is pretty sweet. And then she's got decent side-to-side motion. Her hair does kind of get in the way of that, but then she does have a little bit of tilt, not a huge amount, but you know, enough. In the shoulders, she has a ball hinge and she can get her arm up about this far. She can swivel her arm all the way around, which is great. There is no upper bicep swivel, but there is a peg at the elbow, and that can rotate, and she's got a single joint, single hinge in the elbow, gets about 90 degrees, which is good. And then there is a peg and a hinge in the wrists. She can curl her wrist forward about this far and curl it up about that far. Moving down into the torso, she's able to crunch forward about this far, not too terrible, and she's able to arch her back about that far, not bad. She can swivel. Mine's a little bit tight, but she can swivel, that's okay. And then a little bit of side-to-side crunch, not too shabby. Moving down into the hips, she's got T-jointed ball hips, and not too bad. This is actually pretty good. I'm actually pretty surprised and pleased with that. She's able to kick forward just above the waist, which is great. I'm pretty happy with that. She's not really able to kick back much unless she kind of has her legs start pushing out. Then they can go back, but they're not going to go straight back. She's got an upper thigh cut that works pretty good. No issues with that. She's got double jointed knees. Those work great. And no upper shin cut, but I didn't expect that. There's a disc in the ankle. She can get her foot all the way back, and then she can get her foot forward about that far. And then she's got an ankle rocker, which, I don't know, it's kind of angled at the peg goes in kind of at the wrong angle, but you know, it gets the job done for the most part. So overall, I am pretty pleased with the articulation on this figure. It's pretty much the standard for a female figure. Moving into the sculpt of this figure, and you know, it's nice enough. I'm not gonna complain too much about it. Let's see if we can make sure we've got her in focus. What I really like is the face sculpt. I think they did a great job with this. I think the color tone is really nice. I like that they painted her lips, and her goggle glasses are pretty sweet, and they do come off, which is kind of cool. But just be aware, they're easy to lose. Oh, crud. Okay, yep, we're just gonna leave those here. Okay, moving down into the costume portion, I think they did a pretty good job with the chest and the torso. The paint lines are sculpted in on the chest. And they're painted fairly cleanly. Moving to her back, there's some nice wrinkles that are sculpted in, which looks pretty cool. I like that. The paintwork, the lines again on the back are fairly cleanly done. There's a little bit of an issue here, but not that big of a deal. Moving down, there is a little bit of messiness down by the belt. The black actually goes onto the belt, which is kind of annoying. The belt is sculpted in, but it doesn't really have much detail. The paint is orange and just kind of bleh. On the tops of her hands, you know, it looks nice enough. I'm not really sure what those are supposed to be. But, you know, it looks nice enough. The rest of it really just doesn't have much of any paint or any, I mean, it does have paint and these lines are fairly clean aside from right here on the inside of her boot. You know, it's okay. I'm pleased with the sculpt work and the paint. I do want to note this little bit of silver, which is pretty cool on her shoulder. It'd be her left shoulder. That looks nice. It's a nice little touch. The hair on her is kind of soft, which is nice. There's not really any paint in the hair to give it any, you know, extra little pizzazz, but it does look nice. And I did notice, and there's not probably any way that you're gonna see this on camera, but there are two little notches for her glasses or goggles to be able to go in. But mine just don't seem to, ever since I took them off, they just won't stay in place. So I'm a little bit nervous that I'm gonna lose these, so we're gonna set those aside. So size-wise, she is a little bit tall for a female character. She's coming in at just about 6 inches, maybe even a hair taller than 6, if you can see that there. So she's actually a fairly big character, or figure, which I'm a little surprised by. I don't recall how tall Spider-Woman really is supposed to be, but that's a big lady. And last but not least is accessories. And unfortunately, there's really nothing that I can talk about aside from these little goggles, which I don't really consider those to be an accessory. So accessory-wise, it is very disappointing. She comes with the torso for the lizard bath, which is, you know, a pretty big piece. But overall, you know, this is just kind of a so-so figure for me. I'm not a huge fan of this costume for Spider-Woman, but you know, it's a nice looking figure, and they did a good job, especially with the face. So is this a must-have? I'm gonna say probably not, aside from if you want to finish the Build-A-Figure. But there it is, folks. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And until next time, I will see you later.